Shalom, shalom. How y'all doing, beloveds? You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time no see, right? Wanted to touch bases. It's been a while. I had been out here for a while, you know what I'm saying? Been handling some things. Um, One of the things I noticed is that Facebook has taken a lot of my videos off, you know what I'm saying? So that was a little discouraging, you know what I'm talking about? But whenever you speak about certain things, then you have to kind of keep in mind that they're going to do that. They're going to go ahead and take away certain things, you know what I'm saying, for those who speak on certain topics and situations. So it's cool, you know what I'm saying. But we're back, you know what I'm talking about. And I just kind of wanted to speak about a few things. You know, I noticed that the enemy is attacking us. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, in these seasons. And I just kind of wanted you guys to be encouraged, you know what I'm talking about. And so just know that sometimes the enemy will attack those who are strong, and that whenever so we end up facing these things in life that make it be like, okay, well, why it seemed like a storm after storm after storm. But you have to keep in mind is that the enemy sees something strong within you, so that's why he attacks you through whatever he can, right? And so I kind of want to explain. So I had named this one, you know what I'm saying, survival of the strongest, you know what I'm talking about. So I got a little bit of notes, and I'm gonna go through these wherever, you know what I'm saying, so we can kind of get this, you know. So it says James 5:26, therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for each other so that you may be healed, right? The power of a righteous person availeth much. So, you know, it's powerful and effective. With Genesis 50:20, we are strengthened through his will for us, which is Romans 8:28, as he used the enemy as a spiritual resistance or weight to strengthen our faith. There must first be an atmosphere for him to prepare a table in the midst of our enemies, which is Psalms 23, so that he allows us to go through time and season as seeds to grow in the darkened soil, to seek the light from the heat, then to sprout out darkness into the light, which is the faith process. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, which is in Hebrews 11:1, right? And so, well, let me say this right quick as well. Substance, by definition, is the real matter of the person or thing that consists and has a tangible, solid presence, right? And so, what this is saying, what I'm saying here, and these are my notes. So, what I'm saying in this, right, is that sometimes life may look like a lot of challenges and storms. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it might look like it's struggle after a struggle, or you know what I'm saying, challenge after a challenge. You know what I'm saying, for better words, right? And so the reason that it's like that is because that you know, the enemy is, for one, attacking you. For two, you know what I'm saying, the Most High is using that situation to be able to weather you, for you to be able to be fruitful. Most fruits are produced not in the peace of life, you know what I'm saying, not in the things that are going in the right direction for us. In the things that become challenging, or the things, you know what I'm saying, that are kind of hard to face, is where, you know what I'm saying, character truly is built. This is where substance really takes presence, right? And this is where, you know what I'm saying, because we're rooted in Christ, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what I'm saying, Yahushua, then this is like one of those things that where it is basically a strong making, you know what I'm saying. It's a saying that they say, the strongest battles, the hardest climbs, you know what I'm saying, for the most beautiful views, you know what I'm saying, or the strongest battles for the toughest soldiers. So you kind of have to realize that you are tough, you know what I'm saying, a lot stronger than what you think. The enemy will kind of come in and tell you that you are not anything, that you're not worthy, or situations have failed, or things have befallen upon us, you know what I'm talking about. In this word, it's like, okay, well, you know, we'll go back to doing the normalcy of life, the things that are comfortable, you know what I'm saying. But the strength is in still being able to maintain, you know what I'm saying, consistency through the struggle of the things that are not favorable for us, right? So it's just like whenever birds are able to, you know what I'm saying, whenever birds are able to learn how to fly, you know what I'm saying, they have to be nuzzled out of the nest in order for them to spread their wings, right? So it's the same thing for us to be able to spread our wings with Christ, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the same thing as far as in my circumstance, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of challenges that I face and everything like that. Even in the midst of me spending hours in time of prayer and doing these videos, you know what I'm saying, but yet they've taken all my videos away and only left like one video, you know what I'm saying, they've done it on both accounts, which is crazy. But the thing about it is that whenever you realize that, you know what I'm saying, it's really not about you, you know what I'm saying, it's about what the Most High is willing to do through you for other people, is how you start to understand the production of your fruits, right? So whenever you're able to be fruitful, your fruits that you produce are not for yourself, they're for other people. So let me give you an example. There are many times where we deal with or face, you know what I'm saying, challenging people in our lives, you know what I'm saying, the circumstances, situations, right? And so in the midst of that, we end up being like, dang, this person's difficult or whatever. We tend to want to kind of move around or do something different, you know what I'm talking about? But sometimes we don't understand that the Most High has placed us in those situations in order for us to be able to be a seed planter, you know what I'm saying, a subplanter in that situation for that person. And so the fact that we have went through things of relativity, you know what I'm saying, a relative a situation or scenario where the Most High can really use us, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get through that person. This is part of our assignment of that day, you know what I'm saying? And so once we understand that, then we start to realize it for what it truly is. And then like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? The testimony and the trial and everything like that is never for us. It is for the other person or the people that he can use us, because we are seated in him, you know what I'm saying? We are deeply rooted in him. So then whenever we are able to, you know what I'm saying, produce the fruits that we produce are for other people. You know what I'm saying? We already know the fruits of the Spirit. Those fruits of the Spirit are not made for self, you know what I'm saying? Because it says clearly self-control. You don't have self-control from yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, kind of, yes, but you don't have self-control from yourself as far as like people making you mad. Like, you know what I'm saying, we don't really make ourselves mad because we tend to do things where we'll make excuses for ourselves and then, you know what I'm saying, do something else that's more conducive to ourselves, which we end up creating our own idols in ourselves, you know what I'm saying, by serving and you know what I'm saying, glorifying and edifying our own purposes and presence. But the thing about pride is that whenever you do things in pride, you know what I'm saying, it makes it a difficult space for you to be able to rely on somebody else, because you present an image of falsetto, a fallacy, not a falsetto, you know what I'm saying, a fallacy, you know what I'm talking about, for you to uphold. And so then you don't want people to see you in your weakest state. But that's why I led with James 5:16, which says, therefore confess your sins one another and pray for each other so that you may be so that you may be healed, right? And so the power of a righteous person availeth much, right? And so in that verse it says the power of a righteous person. So this means that you have the power to do something, you know what I'm saying? So as we have power and authority, you know what I'm saying, then this means that we are not exercising it fully, because whenever we deal with pride, you know what I'm saying, within ourselves, and I'm speaking just in general, because there are people that deal with pride, you know what I'm saying, and so social media is made as a construct for people to present themselves prideful, right? But it's really a world, you know what I'm saying, a meta world of people that are in pain, you know what I'm saying, people that are in pain that will tend to make excuses or whatever, or just kind of like, I guess, put past their pain off, you know what I'm saying, on other things, because then it takes away from, you know what I'm saying, a person dealing with themselves, right? So it's the same thing like whenever I learned in jail, right, that there are two ways to serve time. There's people who serve time, you know what I'm saying, with themselves, and there's people who serve time through others. And so social media is one of the constructs that is like that, where whenever a person serves time, you know what I'm saying, with themselves, then it's like, okay, you now have to face your reality, see who you are. You have to, you know what I'm saying, digest it of who you are, configure a plan on what you don't want to do, how you want to grow from a situation. If you want to delve into something else, you know what I'm saying, how to learn how to go from striving to thriving, right? Because then something that's more conducive for you, right, in order for you to grow and evolve. Now, the people who serve time through other people don't really face themselves. They serve time through other people, which means that they will use other people, you know what I'm saying, as in a escape plan. And what I mean by that is basically, you know what I'm saying, it's a form of escapism where you you allow other people to take up most of your time, so you don't have to really think about the things that are, you know what I'm saying, dampening or deep to you, right? And so the enemy uses these type of things in the same aspect for you to not really realize your own authority and strength. And so whenever you do that, you're kind of denouncing your own authority, right? And so let me make it make sense for you. What I mean by that is this, is that when you serve your time through other people, yes, people help you pass the time, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, you still try to uphold an image, you know what I'm talking about, and be prideful about certain things because you don't want people to see you or think about you in a certain type of light or whatever, right? And so in the midst of that process, you know what I'm saying, you are denying the authority, you know what I'm saying, and the access of authoritative power that you have, you know what I'm saying, just by being real, genuine, and authentic, regardless, because we were not made, you know what I'm saying, to be of the world, you know what I'm talking about. We were made to change the world. And so when you realize that you were made to change the world, then you start to understand why the enemy tends to attack you a lot more, you know what I'm talking about, is because you have a desire to change a system that is made for the beast. It's a beast system, right? And so let me keep going, right? Let me see here. Where is it at? And substance, by definition, is a real matter which a person or thing consists and which has a tangible or solid presence. So a physical material from which something is made or has discrete existence. Thus, the dirt or darkened times of the seasons used from faith supernaturally and tangibly. After sprouting is the growth process which helps us to bear fruit. The fruit is the tangibility of the seed sown, good or bad. 2 Peter 3:18 states growth in grace and knowledge of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Salakia. Christ is the light and the tapestry for the Father's workmanship in us, right? So this shows proof of workmanship and things working out for the good of those whom love God according to his will and purpose, right? And so with this, like I'm saying, is that whenever we tend to serve our time through other people, or whenever we tend to be based on pride or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then or we allow ourselves, the enemy, to give us accusations in our minds, oh, you're not good enough, or, you know what I'm saying, who are you? You failed at this, so who are you to try to go back and do whatever, you know what I'm saying? The enemy is trying to get you to denounce your right, but what the Most High does is, you know what I'm saying, will use that situation in order for you to learn, you know what I'm saying, and be able to grow and flourish in, you know what I'm saying, that soil, right? So just because a situation doesn't seem favorable to us, you know what I'm talking about, then it really works out for the best of the benefit of being fruitful, right? So let me go ahead and break it down to you, and then I'm gonna come back to this. So where was I at? Right here. Okay, bet. So now let me break down the fruits for you right quick, so I can show you what I'm talking about. So number one is love, right? Unconditional love is taught by God through Christ during our hardest struggles with self and the life and gained as an example for us to love ourselves and others the same, displayed by the Creator. So there are times that we have all had some form of trauma, right? You know what I'm saying? Some form of faction of trauma, what I meant to say, right? As we were children, as we were growing up, you know what I'm saying? Many people have been betrayed, have been abandoned, neglected, you know what I'm saying? Many people have not been heard, you know, lied on or whatever, abused, all these many different things. These are traumatic experiences, right? Now, we have went through life with certain hardships, with a hardening of heart. Those things were made, the enemy used those things to make a hardening of heart. But through the midst of it, if we're being real with ourselves, a lot of us that had a hardened heart, you know what I'm saying, were really seeking, you know what I'm saying, for a safe space for us to really be able to produce and to receive love for real. For, you know what I'm saying, us to be able to be seen, heard, felt, you know what I'm talking about, comprehended and understood, right? And so in the midst of that, you know what I'm saying, one thing that many people are thriving for in the world is love. Because when a person is not really loved properly, you know what I'm saying, then they will make excuses or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because it's a defensive mechanism, you know what I'm saying, a misappropriated, you know what I'm saying, defensive mechanism, you know what I'm saying, nonetheless. But to be able to defend themselves, so this is why we end up putting up walls and stuff like that, and then we start to become disassociated from reality, you know what I'm talking about, or the way that the world is. So then we start to adapt the ways of the enemy, which is that, okay, well, it's okay to be able to, you know what I'm saying, laugh at other people's pain, or be nonchalant about someone dying or being raped, or you know what I'm talking about, like, you know, abused or whatever, right? And somebody else's misery. So we form the thought process of, well, it's not me, right? But in the same time, whenever it comes down to it being us, then we want to be seen, heard, and felt, right? And so what I'm saying is that there are times whenever we have faced situations and there has been a person, you know what I'm saying, whether we have seen them face to face, or a person that we have seen, you know what I'm saying, online, or even the Holy Spirit for real, you know what I'm saying, that has given us some form of comfort in that situation, that showed us that we are loved, that showed us we are not, you know what I'm talking about, where we come from, you know what I'm saying, we are who we are. We're not who the people say we are. We are who the Most High says that we are, you know what I'm saying, where people can put things in your mind to make you feel like that you, or yeah, to make you feel like that you live at the address, you know what I'm talking about, of that you live at the address of you know what I'm saying, hurt or pain, you know what I'm saying, shame and blame and doubt and fear, but yet you don't really live at that address, you know what I'm saying, you have taken it upon yourself to live at that address mentally, but that's not really the address that you stay at. The address that you stay at is Successful Lane, you know what I'm saying, Healed Boulevard, you know what I'm saying, Achievement Drive, and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying. These are the proper addresses that each and every one of us really stay at. But sometimes it takes other people to show us in the midst of those storms, you know what I'm saying, who we really are, and to formulate or enact upon a form of faction of love, you know what I'm saying, for us to be able to grasp and then to reciprocate that same thing. So that's what I'm saying with that. And through the darkest times is how we learn those things. You see? That's what I'm saying. So the atmosphere has to be set in order for us to be able to start producing those fruits, those actual fruits, right? And so that's another reason why I said that, you know, taught by, you know what I'm saying, the Most High through Christ during our hard struggles and harder struggles with self and with life, you know what I'm saying. So there's times that, like I said, that we've felt anger towards ourselves, we've hated ourselves, that certain don't like the reflections of ourselves, so we've tried to live vicariously through other people, or try to have other people to, you know what I'm saying, I guess be like a blueprint, you know what I'm saying, for who we are. And so we escape and live and escape, we allow ourselves to escape through them and not really face ourselves. So that's like what I said earlier when I said serving time through other people, you see. And so the fact that he has loved us many times in our struggles and, you know what I'm saying, in the things that we have done, transgressions against him and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, then this is the way that we're supposed to act for one another, is to have a form of love, you know what I'm saying. When a person doesn't really love themselves or have any format of love in their life, they're going to operate within, you know what I'm saying, the thing that is the anti of that thing, right? And so this is like when a person has not been loved properly, then they operate in, you know what I'm saying, in hate or anger or whatever. And so the social media is set up for many to be hurt upon hurt. So it's like a group that be like, okay, well, because I'm hurt and this person's hurt, we all will shove our heart to the back, and then we'll go ahead and shun and judge everybody else, but it's only because we're hurt. Hurt people hurt people. What that means is that when a person, things are not going properly in their life, they look for other people to feel their pain, right? And so even within that, me saying that, this is the same reason why testimony in trial, you know what I'm saying, in tribulations and relativity is one of the, or the few of the things that the Most High uses within each and every one of us to be able to show other people that they're not alone. So that way they won't feel like that, well, I'm alone and whoop. So it's like, okay, well, now there is another option. So now I can actually be budded the right way. You know what I'm saying? We just sow the seeds. The Most High will end up watering them and weathering, you know what I'm saying, and shining a light on those things whenever it's time. So that harvest can be grown, you know what I'm talking about, and blossom and flourish whenever it's that time, right? So another one is joy. Joy is a deep internal contentment that is independent of circumstances, be it favorable or unfavorable. If we can't promise him if we can't praise him in the wilderness, how can we praise him in the promise? You know what I'm saying, and the kingdom. So if we realize that we are in the wilderness seasons in our lives and stuff like that, and we can't give him praise then, how are we able to really give him praise, you know what I'm saying, or feel like that we're deserving to give him praise, you know what I'm saying, whenever life is good? So that's another thing. And so he uses the situations of hardships and things like that in life for us to be able to find joy, you know what I'm saying? And so it's in the unfavorable situations where we're able to find joy, because the way that we can give praise and have joy in those situations where you can have a broken family, marriage or relationship or whatever, or you can have, you know what I'm saying, strife with your family or your children or at work, or, you know what I'm saying, things not working out, you know what I'm saying, and just many things of like financial problems and all these type of things. And so it's hard to find joy in those situations. But whenever you realize that the way the Most High works is that these atmospheres that are set for us is because there is going to be a breakthrough. So many things happen in a breakdown to be a breakthrough. You see that? So we steady look at the things as they appear to be and not the things as they shall be. You know what I'm saying? And so because we focus on the physical aspect of the things, you know what I'm saying, then we end up being deceived and fall into deception, you know what I'm talking about, and give the enemy legal jurisdiction, you know what I'm talking about, for us to operate in those things, you know what I'm saying, that are low vibratory, you know what I'm saying, or not really self-conductive, you know what I'm saying, for us, right? And so whenever we are able to really have joy in the thing, knowing that, okay, the more people that come against us, the more resistance that we face, you know what I'm saying, means that we are stronger than what we think we are, or means that there's going to be a bigger blessing, you know what I'm saying. So it's just like whenever you face certain things, and it might not be your season at that time, but then it's like everybody and everything is kind of coming against you or whatever. This just means that the Most High will use that situation to make a way bigger blessing. This is why I said earlier that he prepares a table, you know what I'm saying, for us in the midst of our enemies, you know what I'm saying, our adversaries, right? So this means that the more the adversaries, the bigger the table. You see that? And so we have to keep that in mind, that it's just to be able to exercise joy in that okay, well, yeah, they coming against me or whatever, because they know I'm pressured. They know you pressure, you know what I'm saying? And so because they're coming against you or whatever, then they know that you're pressured, you know what I'm saying? They know that you are strong. People don't come against weak people, you know what I'm saying? Now, bullies might try to, but even with bullies, they see that there's something in that weak person, you know what I'm saying, as they try to deflect. But then that thing is used to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to, I guess, blossom something that is more stronger outside, you know what I'm saying, of that person's knowledge, right? And what I mean by that is the person who's being bullied on. So it's many times that we see people who will mess around and they just stay out the way and they're like, I don't want to be bullied or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying, in school and stuff like that. And so because they have been bullied enough, then they end up coming out the corner swinging, you know what I'm saying, and they hit hard. So then it's like, oh, well, dang, like, you know what I'm saying? So then you have to respect that person. So it's like, okay, now, like, then that person starts to find some umph about themselves. That atmosphere was set up for that person to be able to see their strength, and the world is the same way. So that's what I'm saying, right? Number 3 is peace, a sense of calm and well-being, even amid troubles, right? So again, peace, a sense of calm and well-being, even amid troubles. This right here self-explains it, right? And these are fruits of the Spirit, right? So in the midst of the storms, so like the storms and the struggles or whatever, right, is peace, a sense of calm, finding that peace. Then once you find that peace, then you're able to have joy, you know what I'm saying? It's also correlates with number 4, which is patience or forbearance, the ability to endure hardship and remain calm when being provoked. You see that? So again, it says the patience or forbearance, the ability to endure hardships and remain calm when being provoked. So with this shows that there are going to be weapons that form against us, right? So as the weapons form against us, they won't prosper. The reason why they won't prosper is because we are mightier than those things that we face. We already have authority. We are kingdom heirs. We have been adopted into the kingdom. Though we have fell short, you know what I'm saying, many times, and our fathers and mothers, you know what I'm saying, the forefathers and stuff like that have fallen short, you know what I'm saying, we are the curse breakers, you know what I'm talking about. And so we are the ones that are to break the curse. And so whenever we take it outside of ourselves, and we look right now in this season where so many things are transpiring, the enemy is trying to go full throttle, you know what I'm talking about, to tear apart families, to tear apart, you know what I'm saying, the ability to be able to logically, you know what I'm saying, decipher and discern situations that we face, right? Then we see that it's something a little bit more, because that means that obviously there are a lot more people that are now waking up. And so because they're waking up, then they're like, okay, now we have to run the psyop a little bit more deeper. That's another reason why they keep putting, now they're putting more false images and stuff like that out there, you know what I'm saying, deception, which is like what is this AI stuff, you know what I'm saying, where they end up putting these things out, and people are looking at these AI things and thinking that these things are real, but then they're like, oh well, no, it's fake. So the more and more you keep doing that to a person, it makes it hard to be able to see the wolf when the wolf is really rearing his teeth, right? Because then, you know what I'm saying, whenever there really is a wolf, people will be like, oh well, that's AI generated, so it's not really real. But also, you know what I'm saying, the deception is to be able to have a people at a discord with one another, you know what I'm saying, separate races, families, and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, because people are to make people more focused on, you know what I'm saying, things that are dealt in with hate, instead of things, you know what I'm saying, where we should kind of build more closer together as a people, right? And so with this AI thing, they have it to where you can now, they can make a video of a person like doing something, and then people can believe that that person is doing something. Now they will probably end up doing this a lot more stronger in time, where it'll be people that come against, you know what I'm saying, said beast systems and stuff like that. And then people have now become so programmed to where whenever they do that, then people will believe that, you know what I'm saying, that, oh, okay, well, this person has done this or whatever. And so that means that, you know what I'm saying, the enemy is working really heavy, you know what I'm saying, to try to get people to denounce the faith, or to denounce, you know what I'm saying, what they really know, and to kind of fall into the agenda, right? Because even whenever we look into Revelations, I think that's I think it's Revelations 13 if I'm not mistaken, where it says that even the elect will be fooled, right? Well, they'll be able to have things make it look like fire comes down from heaven and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, is the beast system, right? And so how you able to do that? You're able to do that, you know what I'm saying, with technological advancement, you know what I'm saying, to make people think that what you seen is what you saw, but you really didn't see what you saw, right? Because it's deception. So the AI works that way, but it's the same way, just not, because I'm going to do a video about that, but this is not trying to go far off into that, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that we see how the enemy works. So the enemy does the same thing with the atmospheres that are set up for us in our, you know what I'm saying, circumference, you know what I'm talking about, of our daily dealings and stuff like that, right? And so we have to be able to learn to have peace in that atmosphere, because that atmosphere was set up for us to be able to gain peace, right? And so peace is a sense of calm and well-being, even amid troubles, right? And patience, you know what I'm saying, forbearance, the ability to endure hardship and remain calm when being provoked, right? So now the next thing is number 5, which is kindness, a benevolent and compassionate disposition towards others, difficult people, situations, and atmospheres are all used as an ingredient to produce this fruit, right? So kindness, being able to be kind. The way we were able to learn kindness, you know what I'm saying, is whenever people were kind to us. We have not always been a perfect people. There's times where we've been unruly, you know what I'm saying, and unjust to our fellow brothers and sisters, you know what I'm talking about. And so because somebody showed us kindness, you know what I'm saying, even if we're closed out to ourselves and dealing with certain situations that nobody knew about, there are people that have been kind to us. And so what that did was plant that seed in order for us to be able to blossom kindness towards each other, because it's like, okay, well, I was given kindness, so I guess I could give kindness, you know what I'm saying, in a situation or scenario to anybody else. So that's what that is, right? And so it's all staged and set up in that atmosphere, right? We don't learn that just being peachy and perfect, you know what I'm saying? The things that we face against are the things that the Most High uses in order to be able to help us to produce, you know what I'm saying, the fruits that of the Spirit that we're supposed to produce, which are good fruits, right? So goodness is number 6. Uprightness of heart in life, demonstrated by unselfish actions. Having a friend, child, parent, family member, or a spouse that makes you want to choke them out, you know what I'm saying, or probably even karate chop them in their kneecap sometimes, you know what I'm saying, are used as a mirror to see if you reflect the Lord's glory or your own selfish glory. So in those times, are you only operating in pride, you know what I'm saying, to be able to glorify yourself? Because well, people will slip up with they'll be like, okay, well, my truth is this. This is my truth. You know what I'm saying? There's only the truth. You see? There's a lie and there's the truth. That's it. The lie and the truth. When a person says that, well, this is my truth, you know what I'm saying, then it shows that you're going off on your own, you know what I'm saying, self-induced perspective, you know what I'm saying, of how you reflect in life on certain things. Now, this also shows that certain things that you will try to kind of make your own, you know what I'm saying, self-righteous view for, like self-serving thing, like, okay, well, I'm validated for this, but all that other stuff, I was able to do that. Instead of actually being honest and open with yourself, like, yeah, I had no right to do that, this or whatever, regardless of the situations that happen. I had to be accountable for certain things in my own self that whenever I was like that in times, you know what I'm saying, where I'd be like, okay, well, these atmospheres make me do this or whatever. Everybody has a choice, you know what I'm saying? The illusion in that was the fact that we don't think that we have a choice, but we do. The hardest thing, though, is to be able to still be vulnerable and open in those times, because we see how the world is so cold, right? So then whenever you deal in an atmosphere where people will be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, Negro, you soft, you know what I'm talking about, or who are you to sit here and allow these people free range to do whatever and all this type of stuff. Whenever you're operating out of kindness, you know what I'm saying, and whenever you're operating out of goodness, then it's like, you know, you get looked upon badly. So then it becomes a point to where you try to please other people for gratification and validation, you know what I'm saying, when your gratification and validation should be coming from the Most High, you know what I'm saying, should be coming from the Lord, right? You see how that works? And so whenever we really become aware of ourselves, then we start to learn that, okay, are we really pleasing the world, or are we pleasing the Most High? You see that? Okay. And so number 7 is faithfulness, trustworthiness, and loyalty to God and others. Do you demand loyalty from others, or are you an example of it by your loyalty and due diligence to the Most High in His statutes and commandments towards the people? You know what I'm saying? And so many people are faithful, you know what I'm saying, to their own factions of trying to hold down, you know what I'm saying, their own laws or whatever. But Paul had already spoken in, you know what I'm saying, many books in the New Testament about how the law, you know what I'm saying, has flaw. The reason why the law had flaw was because the law did not have love. This is why Christ said that he did not come to do away with the law, you know what I'm saying? But exactly, you know what I'm saying? And so love is that thing, is that he did not come away to do it, he did not come to do away with the law, you know what I'm saying, but to fulfill it. And so all things in the law are fulfilled in love for real. Now, once you have things fulfilled in love, then there is nothing that's outside of that. Because once you have love, you know what I'm saying, for one another, then it's like, okay, you don't have a desire to kill or steal, destroy. You don't have a desire to bear false witness or to, you know what I'm saying, when you have love for the Most High, then you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, basically, you know what I'm saying, put another God before, you know what I'm saying, the Most High for real. You know what I'm saying? Because you love him, so you're dedicated to him. So you're trying to show faithfulness and trustworthiness, right, to that. So that's your loyalty to him. So whenever you're in a relationship, we all have been in relationships or have dealt with relationships, because a relationship is not always a boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. You have parental and child relationships, you know what I'm saying, sibling relationships, friendships that are relationships, all these things, right? And so we, as human, if we're being for real with ourselves, we all desire a sense of loyalty within our relationships and dealing with other people. But then there's some of us that, or many, let me say that will mess around and we won't be able to really be loyal to others the same way that we're demanding and commanding it from somebody else. You see that? And so when you have not loved or been loyal to your fellow brother and sister, you know what I'm saying, and then it's like, are you really able to be loyal to the Most High for real? So these scenarios and people are set up to be challenges in our lives for us to express our, you know what I'm saying, to express our fruit, you know what I'm saying, and production to the Most High. That's why he judges the heart, because all these things are factions of the heart. If you have a heart, then you're going to have kindness, patience, love, you know what I'm saying, goodness, you know what I'm talking about, self-control, and, you know what I'm saying, long-suffering, all these things. You're going to have these things, you know what I'm saying, as basically admonition, you know what I'm saying, and adoration for the Most High, because you're going to exercise that through the people that he blesses in your life, that he blesses you with in your life, you know what I'm saying. We are set up to be able to produce the fruits, and this is the reason why I'm talking about the fruits and stuff right now, right? And so another thing is gentleness or meekness. So is a humble, which is this number 8, humble and considerate attitude, even in position of power. So does your power boost your ego and confidence, or does it boost your desire to better serve the Lord, your community, and the people? When you really are with yourself and you ask yourself this question, you know what I'm saying, which one is it, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, gentleness or meekness, humble and considerate attitude, even in position of power. So because you have a position of power, does your power boost your ego and confidence, or does it boost your desire to better serve the Lord, your community, and the people? You know, when some of us could rather be doing many different things with life, you know what I'm saying, I get it, most definitely. But the fact that we tend to show up for the people that are in our lives, or people who are in need of us, you know what I'm saying, though it may be challenging, but the fact that we show up for these people, you know what I'm saying, shows that we are willing to put down ourselves to be able to serve, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes it's not easy. There are people that will lie on people and slander and like kind of separate people from others to make something seem like whatever, you know what I'm saying. But the way that you muscle through those things and still be able to pray for those people that make your life challenging and difficult, you know what I'm saying, is where the reward is the Most High will reward you. Sometimes the reward is not always an earthly reward. It's a heavenly reward, something that is a more spiritual thing, because one thing that you can't take with you is material. You can't take money. You can't take the accolades that people have given you in this life. But you can take the wisdom, the knowledge, the love, you know what I'm saying? You can take, you know what I'm saying, like just the good works and stuff like this. And the Most High is pleased with those things. Things that money cannot buy, that man cannot take from you, are the things that the Most High is really pleased in. You know what I'm saying? This is another reason why whenever a great person pass away, then, you know what I'm saying, the things that they have done for people, from the smallest thing to the largest thing, you know what I'm saying, will forever live on with those people, and those people will continue to tell the stories of the experience of the fruits that that person had released in their lives, you know what I'm saying, and then also be an example, because that person was being an example of Christ, you know what I'm saying, in, you know what I'm saying, a form of substance, you know what I'm talking about, in their life or in our lives or whatever, right? You see? So number 9 is self-control, you know what I'm saying? Self-control, the ability to manage one's own desire and impulses. This is gained through darkness, transgressions, and shameful actions. God will use that what the devil tried to keep us in as yearning to tap out of addictions, failures, and afflictions, just to tap in to authority. So he will allow us to go through these things in our lives, you know what I'm saying, that will make us want to tap out of those things eventually, because we'll eventually get tired of those things. And once we tap out of those things, we start to tap into who we are supposed to be. We start to tap into the authority of who we are. You see that? So once we tap into the authority of who we are, then everything starts to work, and we start to align properly with the will. Just like I said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Everything, all things work out for the good of those, you know what I'm saying, who love God according to his purpose and will. So when our will aligns with God's will, because his will is always good for our lives, you know what I'm talking about? Then it's one of those things that's like, okay, now we start to we have full accessibility to the power of who we are, and we walk more authoritative in things, you know what I'm talking about? And so tap into authority, worthiness, righteousness, and the purpose, which all align to his will and perform through our imperfect lifestyles and actions, right? So now let me go back where I had left off at. Where is it? Okay. So his will is not to forsake us, but that we should have sanctification, right? Sanctification meaning being set apart. 1 Thessalonians 4-3, you know what I'm saying? And so he will never forsake us nor leave us. All this to say that the strength in faith leaves us open to receive proper nutrition through God's word. Man cannot live off bread alone, but every word that professes out the mouth of the Lord thy God. That's Matthew 4:4. Also John 6:25-59, which states that Jesus is the bread of life, you know what I'm saying, and the living water as well. We need water to live, and Jesus is the living water. John 7:37. All this providing that the adversity we face is used as a requirement to flourish us in due seasons we are being prepared for. So count it all joy. He will restore all that count it all joy as he will restore all that was taken and lost, right? And so Joel 2:5 says that I will repay you for the years that the locusts have eaten. You see that? So in the midst of that, right, is that we are meant to face adversity. We are meant to face adversity. So because we're meant to face, you know what I'm saying, adversity and all these things, you know what I'm saying, then he uses it as a requirement, right, to flourish us in due seasons, you know what I'm saying, being prepared, that we're being prepared for. So purposeful and righteous and a full field harvest, you see? So let me see, where is it at? All this is a requirement for a powerful fruit in its tangibility from the supernatural being fruition into the natural, right? And one thing that we know is that you can't spell fruition without fruit. You see that? So Colossians 2:6-7, continue to live your lives in him, rooted in him, built up in him, strengthening your faith as you were taught, and overflowing with thankfulness. Every good fruit is produced through the process of weathering of our storms and dark times, where faith is built, gained, and created. When you work out, you see gains. You see that? It is the same way with spiritual exercise as we exercise our authority. Galatians 5:22-23, fruits that we bear, right, are the fruits that I just got through speaking about, 1-9, right? And so a major part of the process is preparation versus production. Some trees can bear fruit in its first year, which are like peach trees and stuff like that, right? But many growers remove them to focus on making the branches stronger for a bigger harvest in due season. So this shows that there's times that many of us can bear fruits, you know what I'm saying, but we don't want to become overbearing of the fruits that we bear. So what I'm saying in that is that just because we can bear certain fruits in a certain time does not mean we're supposed to really just be trying to give our all, you know what I'm saying, within those fruits to everything whenever we're not fully strong enough all the way. You know what I'm saying? Because the more we practice and operate in learning the process and, you know what I'm saying, becoming more strong in, you know what I'm saying, the production, you know what I'm saying, or the preparation, my bad, rather versus the production, then we start to really understand and comprehend and understand, you know what I'm saying, that okay, it's a little bit more than just the fruit that we bear. It's us being strong, because many people can bear fruit but then have weak moments, many weak moments, and then the fruit that you bear ends up not looking as powerful, but then you end up getting mad with yourself, you know what I'm talking about, and then blaming yourself and then falling back into the devil's trap, and then you start bearing low-hanging fruit, and people are like, oh, well, nah, your fruit is all right, but I don't really want it, you know what I'm saying, where, you know what I'm saying, you can actually have high, you know what I'm saying, like real supplemental fruits, you know what I'm saying, but you have to be strong in the process. So it's about, you know what I'm talking about, the preparation more than just the fruit. So many of us are willing and yearning to hurry up and bear the fruit. Okay, let me give you the fruit. This is what I got. Instead of being like, okay, well, let me show you through my strength of the process that now this is what it is, you know what I'm saying, right? Because the things that we learn, the fruits that we have, that we're able to bear, or have already been, you know what I'm saying, strengthened, you know what I'm saying, and produced through the atmospheres that we faced, you know what I'm talking about. So that's the strength, right? And so this means that many times we may think or feel because we can bear fruit that is right, we are ready to produce, only to become weary and have low-hanging fruit, like I just said, while losing faith. Just because we don't see the harvest when we desire doesn't mean that there will never be an enjoyable harvest. Focus more on the process and not the produce, because the fruit is an extension of the tree, which is an extension of the nurturing, which is an extension of the growth, thus an extension of the faith gained from the darkness and tribulations, the enemy form that God uses in process of favor and provision. So learn how to rejoice in the things we face as growth. Breakthroughs and harvest are not too far ahead, while our adversaries form with weapons, and the Lord will prepare a table in front of the enemy to make in front of the enemy and make the enemy a footstool, right? And so keep this in mind. So whenever we end up dealing, or whenever you're dealing, you know what I'm saying, with a situation or scenario where you start feeling like that you are not strong enough, or that you're not able, you know what I'm saying, to pray, or, you know what I'm saying, to give praise, or to kind of like saturate and meditate in the word and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, find the strength in it and know that the atmosphere is set up for you to be able to be very fruitful, you know what I'm saying, and produce, because the enemy does not come to break into empty houses. Nobody that I know, even when I've been locked up, you know what I'm saying, nobody that I have known has ever broken into an empty house. They're usually breaking into houses that, you know what I'm saying, have something in them, you know what I'm saying, have something of value. So obviously you have something of high value that the enemy wants, and so that's another reason why the enemy wants you to denounce your power. The enemy wants you to come into agreement and feel like that you are not worthy of, not knowing that the fruits that you bear are for somebody else. So there are many times that, people that are placed around you, or even you not thinking that, oh, this don't go nowhere, it's just me just doing something. You don't know whose life that you affect. You know what I'm talking about? It's been many times I've said it on the last videos and stuff like that, but they don't have them anymore because Facebook wants to take my stuff down. You know what I'm saying? But we'll make some more, so it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I used to always say that, be encouraged and know that you matter. You know what I'm saying? If nobody told you today that I'm proud of you and I'm glad that you exist, you know what I'm saying, then I'm telling you right now, you know what I'm saying, you have a divine purpose. We all have a preordained purpose. Also, we must keep in mind that whenever we do not fulfill our purpose, that the Most High holds that against us whenever it is time to face him in judgment. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we end up dying, you know what I'm talking about, and we have to face judgment, he will hold that against us. It's like, okay, well, I create you with a purpose and a job to do, but you didn't do it. Why don't you do it? You know what I'm saying? Then we have to ask ourselves, like, okay, well, it's because, you know what I'm saying, Timmy and Tammy, you know what I'm saying, made us feel like whatever, and so we ended up losing, you know what I'm saying, the win to be able to do something. And, you know what I'm saying, he's not going for that because he's like, well, yeah, but that's people. Why are you worried about with people? Because with you, I had planned to use you and preordained you to be able to help save so many more. You know what I'm talking about? And so you focused on what it looked like on the physical thing and not what the spiritual thing was supposed to be. You see that? And so just keep that in mind. Know that you really do matter. You know what I'm saying? Know that the storms don't last for long. You know what I'm talking about? And the difficult situations and challenging people and stuff like that that you deal with or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's all temporary things to help produce, you know what I'm saying, strength with you. So that way you can have the things that's formed in that atmosphere for you to bear perfect, you know what I'm saying, fruit, things that are perfected through the Lord. So you can actually be fruitful, you know what I'm talking about, for where it's needed. So keep in mind that you never know who you inspire, or, you know what I'm saying, who is longing, you know what I'm saying, for what you give, you know what I'm saying. And so that's one of the things. I was crazy, I'm talking about fruit. I just noticed that. I wouldn't even, that's crazy. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Just make sure that you be fruitful. You know what I'm saying. Make sure that you don't doubt yourself, because the enemy will do that. It's okay if you fall short of certain things. Sometimes you can be walking in righteousness, and then, you know what I'm saying, you fall short, and then the enemy will be like, well, no, he's not going to hear your prayers now because you allowed this to happen, or because you dealt with this, or you went through that. You know what I'm saying. And then you start to take on that mind frame, and then you become an accuser, a self-accuser. You know what I'm saying? You accuse yourself of certain things when that's not your job. Where, you know what I'm saying, the Most High says that he will take, you know what I'm saying, your sins, you know what I'm saying, your trespasses, and then he will throw them in the sea of forgetfulness. So as he does that, you have to learn to forgive yourself and forgive others. Because if you don't forgive others, you know what I'm talking about, then he's not going to forgive you. So even whenever it's hard to forgive people, you know what I'm talking about, give people grace. The things that you would want, you know what I'm saying, give that to others. You know what I'm talking about. Even if people's not giving it back to you, just know that the Most High will give it to you, because the things that our gifts don't come from man. You know what I'm saying. Anything that is given to us is given to us by the Most High through, you know what I'm saying, people, or through many things in life. You know what I'm saying. So just keep that in mind. You know, be aware of the enemy's attacks. Know that the enemy really is trying to operate in the psyop. And because I also see a lot of people kind of falling into a lot of these things where it now is trying to form and bubble into, you know what I'm saying, a race war or whatever. And so when things kind of bubble into, you know what I'm saying, separatism, then that's where the enemy likes to divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, we need to be a little bit more stronger as a people together, you know what I'm saying, where it really matters, because this is for real war, you know what I'm saying? And so we're at war, you know what I'm saying, with demonic forces and presences, because we know that the weapons of war are not carnal but spiritual, you know what I'm talking about? And so the enemy works in many different ways, because the enemy is also crafty, you know what I'm talking about? But we know who has the victory, and we know that, you know what I'm saying, we are the saints. So we just have to kind of continue to walk up in uprightness and know that, you know what I'm saying, our lives are not our own lives, you know what I'm saying, but our lives to give, you know what I'm saying, unto Christ through long suffering, right? So when we realize that, then a lot of the things that we kind of see and kind of get lost in the sauce of don't end up taking very much weight in our lives, you see. And so just know that, like I said when I started the message, you know what I'm saying, just be able to confess your sins. That's what the enemy don't want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Be able to really confess your sins and, hey, I messed up this or I did that or whatever, you know what I'm saying, with the Lord or even people that you really trust, you know what I'm talking about. And then you take that chain, you break that chain off of you, because the enemy likes to keep you in that shame, because with the pride, you don't have anybody to talk to, you know what I'm saying? And then you're like, well, I don't want nobody to see me in a certain type of light. And then with that shame, it's like, okay, well, I'm allowing the enemy to hold this over my head, and so now I can't move forward. You know what I'm talking about? Then comes the self-blame and then the doubt. And then, you know what I'm saying, after that, the next thing you know what I'm saying, you are now a slave to sin. And so we're not slaves, you know what I'm talking about, to sin. We're not slaves to anyone, you know what I'm saying? We're only, if anything, we'd be slaves to the Most High, you know what I'm talking about? But he don't say that we're slaves, because slaves don't have access to the kingdom, you see? So I love you, kingdom people, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Stay uplifted and encouraged, most definitely. You'll see a lot of me more, you know what I'm saying, these days and stuff like that. You know, I took a little break off and stuff like that, because you already know, anybody who's have seen my old videos before they took them down, you know what I'm talking about, knows that I'm not a person that just goes off of just the accolades of everybody, nor am I just looking to, you know what I'm saying, be this big. But, you know what I'm saying, it's just one of those things that's like, okay, because I have to remain humble, you know what I'm saying, because I give all praises to the Most High that I serve. So I love y'all with the love of the Lord, you know what I'm talking about, and stay encouraged and go out there and be great, you know what I'm saying. Don't allow the enemy to shake you, and don't allow your faith to wait, you know what I'm saying. Stay strong and encouraged. I love y'all. Peace.